Welcome back, everybody. It looks like we're going to be flying an IFR approach today. Beautiful layer of clouds down there, but we're going to have to fly an ILS approach. Runway 03 at KGEG Airport. This is what the chart looks like. And the ILS was unsurfaceable yesterday, but good thing it is today because we're definitely going to need it. Clouds were down to about 400 feet AGL. I'm just doing some of the pre-landing approach checklists using the aircraft checklist, but we're also going to do a bunch of flow checks, which you watch me do in a lot of my videos because I'm always, or most of the time, flying single pilot IFR. When you're flying an airplane like this, having good flow checks can save you from making critical mistakes. You can see I got the chart here up on the Garmin G600 TXI. We're just kind of being vectored around right now because there were quite a few airplanes shooting this approach, so they've got us on vectors to get us ready to fly the ILS. And if you want to become a member of the YouTube channel, get access to so many more POV flying videos, more in-depth videos on my life as a contract pilot, as well as career advice for those aspiring pilots out there, then you can become a member, and it also goes to help support the channel so I can keep making videos like this one. Now we're going to be approaching from the southeast side of the approach. It's going to be a right-hand turn to intercept the localizer, and you can see it there on the G600 TXI. Got the chart displayed there on the right side of the display, and I'm just kind of going through the numbers again. I've already briefed this approach, but I just want to stay ahead of the airplane, make sure I've got all my numbers set up, and I'm actually going to put the minimums in here right now. We're going to use the radar altimeter. We're going to set 250 feet AGL, so that way we get our minimums call out at 250 AGL. I like to use the radar because it's sort of like a backup to your altimeter. I remember in flight safety, they tricked me many times when I had altimeter problems, and the thing that saved me from crashing the airplane on an IFR approach was the radar. So if you have radar altimeter, know how to use it, and know how to use it in tandem with all your other avionics. I'm making sure everything's set up here on the Garmin GFC 600 autopilot. And like I said, you can see I've already got the localizer set up there on my PFD. And we're just getting vectors right now for the approach, which is very common in areas like this where it's fairly busy airspace, and there's actually an Air Force base really close by, so there's lots of military traffic. And so when you fly into airports like this, it's more than likely you're going to get vectors for the approach, which actually makes it a lot easier. Less thinking and just more doing what the controllers tell you to do. Now they've cleared us down to 5,000 feet, and I'm just going to control this descent by setting the vertical speed on the autopilot. We're going to adjust our power. We want to be below 175 knots or close to that speed so that we don't have to frantically try to slow the airplane up. Our flap speed is 175 knots, so we want to be prepared for that, because by the time we make this turn for final, we might be beginning our descent into those clouds. So there's going to be a lot of things kind of happening at once. You can see we got the glide slope kind of bouncing around there. Obviously we're not following that right now because we're not on the localizer yet. Now they've just cleared us for our intercept heading, so we're going to make a right-hand turn here. You can see the airplane's turning. I'm just flying it using the heading bug. Nice gentle turn. Everything's looking good on the autopilot. We're going to add our first stage of flaps. We're below 175 knots. We're going to turn the prop sync off and then bring the props up to 1900 RPM. We really want to be ahead of the airplane, especially if we're going to be punching into the clouds like this, because a lot of different sensations and illusions happen when you enter into cloud like this in the descent while you're trying to fly an IFR approach. And check that out. You can see our shadow of the airplane off the right-hand side there. Pretty awesome. A few bumps as we start going through these clouds, and then we are in the soup, as we say. See, we're coming up on our altitude there. And this is critical. This is when you want to make sure you are focused on everything that's going on. And by focused, I don't mean, tunnel visioned on one or two things. You want to make sure you're ahead of the airplane, you know what's next, and you're anticipating everything that's going to be coming up. Now it's minus 3 degrees Celsius, so we want to make sure that we're not picking up any ice, although I'm not too concerned because as we descend, we're going to be in warmer air here shortly. And we have to stay at 4,500 feet until we intercept the localizer, and then we'll stay at 4,500 until we intercept the glide slope, which will give us guidance all the way to the runway. You can see the localizer coming in there, and the autopilot's going to initiate that turn to join the localizer while we're staying at 4,500 feet. Nice gradual turn. We've intercepted the localizer now. We want to stay at 4,500 until that glide slope comes in. You can see it's now at about 1 dot above us. And ATC cleared us over to tower, and they're probably going to clear us to land quite a ways back here. You see that water on the windshield there as we pop out of these clouds, and right back into IMC. Sometimes the biggest illusions, like I was saying, is when you're popping in and out of clouds like this on an approach. The autopilot's captured the glide slope now, so we're going to put the landing gear down. If we had a lot of ice building up on the airplane, you want to be cautious of when you put the gear down, because remember that landing gear is going to collect ice as well. But because we're on an ILS, as soon as the glide slope is intercepted, I like to get the landing gear down, do our pre-landing checks as well as our BB Gumps check. We also have a couple of altitude checks on this approach. One that's coming up here at the waypoint Carrot. So if we're on the glide slope, when we pass Carrot waypoint, we should be at 3,900 feet. And that waypoint's coming up here right away. You're going to see we're at just through 4,100 now, and as soon as we cross that waypoint, it's just a way to check that our altimeters are set correctly and they're functioning properly while we're on the glide slope. Going to make sure everything is set up for landing. Landing lights on, gear, props, flaps are set. Our speed is between 120 and 130 knots. Everything is stabilized. Situational awareness is in check. And everything is feeling comfy. And because we do have a little bit of ice on the windshield here, it looks like a little bit of clear ice actually. We're going to cycle the de-icing boots to make sure that we get rid of all the ice off the tail and the leading edges. You can see the boots just inflated there, and there wasn't much ice on there. A little bit of clear ice though. But better to be safe than sorry. Cycle those boots in case there's big chunks on the tail that we just can't see. And to get rid of that last little bit of ice on the windshield, that last little bit of clear ice, we're going to turn the windshield heat on. We're just going to leave it on low here. I didn't have it on initially because we didn't really have a lot of ice going on, but to get rid of this, we're going to turn it on to low, and you're going to see it just melt away. It's one of the most satisfying things. That ice immediately turns to water. We're through 3,100 feet now. Our minimums are 2,600. I can already see the ground starting to show up. And runway straight ahead, we're going to click the autopilot off. Clouds were a lot higher than we were expecting, so this is good news. We've got the runway in sight. And I'm going to tuck my iPad away here so that it's out of the way. Gear, props, flaps, our final approach flow check. Everything is looking good. We're just going to control the speed, control the power, and continue this stabilized approach all the way to the runway. Runway is clear. Our short final flow check, gear, props, flaps, everything's set up for landing. We're going to cross the runway threshold at about 105 to 110 knots. Adding a little bit of margin because we got a lot of runway and we don't know if there's any ice remaining on the airplane. So add a little bit of extra speed as we come over the numbers here. Fly the airplane down to the runway. We can walk back the power levers as we go into the flare. Make this as smooth as possible. And there you have it. Absolutely silky smooth. Bring the power levers back into beta. Bring the flaps up. It's going to be enough to slow us up without even touching the brakes. And you can see even I knew that was about as smooth a landing as you could possibly make it. I'm happy. Passengers are happy. Everybody's happy. We're on time. We're going to exit the runway here to the right and then taxi into customs. We'll switch over to ground frequency here, and because we know where we're going, tower will usually clear us all the way into the ramp without even contacting ground as long as we monitor the frequency. We're going to park in front of the customs building, shut the engines down, bring the props into feather, and wait for the customs officers to come out to greet us. Once we're all cleared, we can tow the airplane to the main ramp area where we're going to be staying. And you can see we picked up a lot more ice than I expected. So you always have to be extra careful when flying in icing conditions. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out the membership side of the YouTube channel. So much more there to see. Happy and safe flying, everybody.